Tonight on Oxygen Tango Live, we check in with Sachin and Nayon, plus questions from the chat. Coming up. Welcome to Oxygen Tango Live. Back for another show. Megan, how are you?
Doing okay, Dave.
So what's the outfit of the day? Well, I guess I'm wearing the outfit of the day too. It's red. You're wearing red.
Red all week.
Oh, it's all week. Okay.
Red all week. I'm also doing a throwback to the outfit of the day tie-dye challenge.
Oh, okay, nice. A little retro.
Yeah.
Retro being like 2 weeks or?
At least a month.
At least a month. Okay, that's good. So we have some unfortunate news tonight, which is that we weren't able to get our connection, Skype connection with Nicole up and running. So we're going to have to postpone that. Hopefully we'll be able to chat with Nicole on Friday. But we won't, if you tune in for that conversation, I'm afraid you'll have to come back on Friday. We will, however, be checking in with Sachin and Nayon, two of our regular guests, our most popular guests. They both have a lot going on. So we still have a very exciting show. And of course, we will also be answering your questions from the chat. Who do we have in the chat so far, Megan?
So far in the chat, we have a lot of love from Nicole's challenge team, the Tango Amigos. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure.
Hopefully we can have you back on Friday. We've got Amy So, Stephanie Jones, and Sachin Mehta already mixing it up.
Okay, great. I'm going to bring up the chat myself so that I can see the questions also. All right. Shall we bring on our first guest then?
Yes.
Okay, let's check in with Sachin.
And it does look like that the stream is having a little bit of trouble staying constant. If it's very, very patchy and spotty for you, you can always watch this in its entirety after we're done streaming.
Okay, let's see here.
Well, I guess I'll just vamp for a little
Sorry,
bit.
I'm trying to add Sachin. Well, we can remind people about
right.
our different.
It's been quite an evening.
Okay, here he is. Okay, let me just get this going here. There he is.
Sachin
Okay,
Mehta,
wow.
Available under the gun.
Wow, surprise guest. Sachin, how are you?
I'm always available during the quarantine.
So the great thing about the quarantine is that people do tend to be available. Although I have noticed lately, at the beginning it was like, hey, you know, can you come on the show? And people are like, yeah, well, what else do I have to do? I'm quarantined. Like, and now you ask them and they're like, well, you know, I do have a Netflix date, you know, with my work, with my coworkers, and then I have a call with my high school friends this other time. I've noticed that people are becoming busy online, actually, the way that they were busy before. So that didn't take too long. It took 2 or 3 weeks. Not happening.
Yeah, it's too long for people to socially isolate like better than me, you know? It's fine. Like, I couldn't even have social isolation to myself. Like, people came in and now they're like killing it. Does that make sense? They're like they're doing very well with it. They're studying Portuguese, you know. They're Netflixing each other, and I'm available for you guys. Where's Nicole?
We couldn't get the Skype connection to work. It was very sad. We're going to try it again another time.
It kept dropping it. Look at this. I have so many questions for Nicole.
She is an enigma, and I keep hearing that she has things to say, and well, I should probably just message her.
Well, we're definitely gonna get her on sometime, even if it's just a phone call. We're gonna find a way to make it work, because I think she does have actually some really interesting takes on stuff that we've been talking about. So I'm not.
It's all part of our larger plan to build suspense for her interview.
It's working, Nicole.
Just to remind everyone, Friday 8 p.m. will be our next stream. We are streaming now on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, and we're on YouTube and Facebook. Oxygen Tango is the username, but if you really want to mix it up in the chat, we recommend YouTube. Ivan Lopez is in the chat. Ivan, exciting.
Well, I'm pretty good, Sachin. Thanks for asking.
Well, I'm nothing if not an asker. Are you guys doing well? You're always asking how other people are doing. How are you two doing?
We're doing
no one
good.
asks about you.
We're hanging in.
Yeah?
It is what it is.
So we, Sachin, we haven't checked in with you for a while.
Well, yeah. The nice thing about me is you can check in sporadically and still, I'm like.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Sachin, we lost your sound.
Will Worthington.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Will Worthington is in the chat.
Okay, you're back. This show's going so well so far.
What's up, Will?
So
yeah, no, I'm doing well. Am I talking too loud? Do you guys hear me?
No, it's perfect now.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
The show is now really officially underway.
Oh yeah, no, I'm doing well. It's been a busy mental few days. 'Cause I went for a run 2 days ago, and this lady. Every time I mention lady on the show, you guys have been asking this part of the 20 days. No, it didn't go anywhere. It didn't lead to a date. No, she was standing on the. I was running, and she was standing on the corner. So on the corner of the street, and I had to get around her. So I made a wide berth around her, and then I kept running. And she was adjusting her gear. And as I was running, and she was out of my mind, she just buzzed me. I guess she buzzed me so. She ran past me so hard, and she kind of scraped, her shirt, her gears right against my crappy T-shirt, and I was so shocked that she wasn't observing social distancing, and I straight freaked out, and I just assumed for a good 20 minutes I had the corona, and so I went back inside. I showered.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Sachin, we lost your sound again. I think you keep covering the mic or something.
Oh no!
Oh, there, it's better. It's back.
There we go.
Oh.
Whatever you're touching with your right hand, stop touching that.
You know why? This is true. I have a blanket. I have a security blanket. So I think it's covering up the mic because my laptop's on it. I'll take care to not do that.
What is the blanket? What is the blanket for?
Security.
It's for love and comfort and for security.
Oh, just emotional security.
Yeah. It's for physical security. We don't have
Oh, see, I was thinking financial security.
full
Oh,
woo-woo.
that's-
It's a little.
I think that says a lot about where the three of us are right now.
Yes,
She
I am
wants physical
basically
security,
covered up.
I want emotional security, and Megan wants financial security. Maybe we can make it happen together, all of it.
So, Sachin, back to the lady. You claim that this could not possibly be part of your 20 days of fortuitous love luck, as your mother told you that it would be, and yet every great rom-com begins in exactly this way. From minding my own knowledge, an accidental meeting in which you first intensely dislike each other.
You think that someone is,
Feels like the start of a beautiful romance.
Can I just say, I love the way you started the question. You claim. Yeah, I thought I was going on the Oxygen show. It turns out I'm on 60 Minutes.
Ivan Lopez chatted hormonas, maybe pheromones, maybe suggesting that you might be giving off some pheromones that is causing eligible young women out there to run and
Yeah.
run in your direction and brush against you, no matter what season it might be.
Ivan, I can guarantee you that is not the case. There is me running. I was told this. I was told that, hey, you're the closest human thing we have to like a giraffe crossing the sidewalk. Like that's kind of what it looks like. I'm not like, I'm pretty, you know. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it.
Okay.
You might be right, Ivan, but yeah.
Well, did you say anything to her?
No, that's what I'm kicking myself for. Because as she buzzed me, she was like 15 feet ahead of me, and I just felt so much like I wanted to be like, 6 feet. Something clever. I imagined it would like land on her. I imagined I would say it, and then it would hit her, and she'd be like, oh, like, I don't know. I just had this whole fantasy about how rad it would sound, and of course, I didn't say anything. Even if I did, it wouldn't have sounded rad at all. And she ran off. And part of the frustration was like, as I was showering, was like kind of cursing myself for not saying anything. But
do you mind? Do you think we could do a little drama therapy right now?
Oh,
I really want you to pretend that I'm the lady, and now you can say exactly what you wished you would have said to the lady.
Like in this scene, or as if we were on the sidewalk? Like
as if we were on the sidewalk. I'll try to like.
Hey! 6 feet!
Oh, pardon me, sir. I was somehow very attracted. I don't even know how I ran this close to you. My legs just carried me there. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm Wanda.
Turn this therapy session into a joke. I'm sorry, sir. I was just so attracted to you that I...
How did that feel, Sachin, to get to say what you wanted to say in the moment, but didn't say?
I mean, it was. I felt the first vibrations of catharsis. Again, only to be shut down by Nicey McNicey Pants over here.
You felt that Megan made a joke out of it just as you were starting to get something out of the drama therapy?
I'm pretty sure the way she was running, she was not going to be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir." I think she would have been like, "Fuck you."
Okay. Let's do it again. I've got it now. I'm really sorry. Let's do it one more time.
Hey, 6 feet.
Hey,
that's all fuck
you.
Fuck you. I'm gonna cough on your.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Was not expecting it to go in that direction. I'll be honest.
How's that?
How did that feel, Sachin?
I felt pretty good. I'll be honest. That felt nice.
There is a palpable tension out there right now, and a lot of it, well, some of it has to do, I think, with exactly that. Just people have different standards about how far away you should be, and someone tells you to get further away, you could take that as an insult. It becomes part of your identity. That's intense stuff. That might have felt really good.
That's yeah. I think you're right. It is very tense out there. It's tense, and I think for that one moment, I think what it was I so wanted to just yell because for a second I would have had the corner on this thing. I would have been like, I'm totally in the right, and she's totally in the wrong, and let me just project it and yell, which I haven't done in 3 weeks. So, I think you're absolutely right to be tapping into that.
There's something empowering about having that moral high ground, of being the one that's respecting the social distancing.
Yes, it's rare to be so clearly in the moral right in this world now.
Right.
I'm rarely in the moral right so clearly. For me, it's always ambiguous. It's always like, well, I feel this way, but the other person has a point.
Right.
So when you encounter this moment, which Megan helped me to reenact, it was like, okay, no, I'm clear in the right. Let me just let me just let out some frustration. Let me just let it out in a way that I'd be totally entitled to. I imagine the crowd would be cheering me on. I get like a little medal.
There is nothing better than feeling completely justified, like moral superiority. Like just losing your shit and feeling completely in the right about it. I most often experience this in traffic. Like if somebody just does one of those terrible, they like skip the line waiting to turn right at the light and then they try to cut in at the end of that line. I just love like not letting them in and like laying on my horn and letting them have it.
Stephanie Joe says, release the pent-up rage. Ann Hars, meanwhile, has joined the chat, says she was at a Zoom meeting for ASPCA kitten fostering, ASPCA kitten fostering, and she did the whole meeting with a chicken on her lap. So maybe we'll find out more about that. I certainly hope so.
Nobody's topping that.
If I had a nickel.
For every chicken that you've had on your lap?
For every time I've heard that. I got a chicken on my lap.
Sachin, I'm actually dying to know what's going on in your video game.
Well, I haven't played that game in a while, but I have found a new game that was a recommendation from Sarah Amale, which it's actually been very interesting. There's no cute animation. It's called Kind Words, and I bought it. Buy it, and check it out. So you're basically this guy, and you're just in a room. If I describe it, it sounds good. You're just in a room, and you see yourself like in this room, and you have a little like computer, and you basically write out whatever you want to write out into the ether, and other players anonymously respond with advice or kind words or little affirmations, and that's it. That's the whole game. And then you see their letters come in, and you can pick out their letters in paper airplanes. You can pull them out, and they confess whatever is bothering them or what they're feeling bad about. And you can then write your own notes to them. And it's completely anonymous. You're not allowed to send any contact information. You're not allowed to be negative. There's no way they can identify who you are or even what gender you are or anything.
How do they moderate negativity in that game?
Oh, so far, I'm not going to be one challenging it, but so far it's only been like really positive things. I think if you're going to spend $6 on this game, it kind of takes out. I would hope. I don't know. That's a great question, but so far I've responded to letters that are like it's crazy what people write out there. People are scared about the corona. They're scared about being low. They're also scared about dumb shit too, which I probably shouldn't say in keeping with the spirit of the game. Dumb shit, judgment. No, people are talking about like how they're having issues with their significant others in this time. People are, scared about coming out. You can tell it's from all over the world because the way the English is. And so I go and I write like little 10 lines of advice or my thoughts, right? And then I can add a sticker, and a little male deer. It takes my letter and runs off with it, and then that's it. And the next day I check in, and if they read it and if they liked it, they can like a little sticker back, and that's it. That's the entire interaction.
How do you know it's a male deer?
No, it's a
She's on fire.
Oxygen tango live. You cannot get an inch with oxygen.
Wait, so you get an airplane, you open it up, you get a message, and then you can reply with some text to that message.
Yes.
Okay, but then that's basically the end of the. Then you can get a sticker back, but no more. That's as far as it goes.
Yeah. That's as far as it goes.
I see.
That's as far as it.
So you could write something encouraging, something nice, something helpful, or just some.
Yes.
I see.
Exactly. And the game shtick, which is kind of cool. They'll play like indie like meditative groove music in the background, and they'll kind of like DJ it for you. So like the little tagline below the game is like sick beats to write to or something. I forget. I'm not doing it right. That's the thing. So it has a cool soundtrack. You're just encouraged to write, to read, to write out your own problems. So, I did it once or twice. I wrote out my thoughts, and people responded very lovingly. Like I wrote out one letter about, something about life and my parents and Corona, and I got like 5 or 6 responses, and even the bad ones were good. There were varying levels of of sophistication and tenderness, and it's just weird, right? Like to put yourself in this anonymous community and get. It's different when you get it from friends because they have an obligation to you, but these are strangers, and there's something about that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I could use some of that.
Well, you can download the game.
It's called Kind Words.
Kind Words.
Okay.
And it's a mobile game?
I don't think so. It was on my Steam, which I just found out is a thing. I have something
on your what?
Forget it. It's on Steam. Is something you download.
It's like a video game.
Dave knows.
I think it allows you to get certain video games that maybe you wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah, it's like a thing. It's like a platform. You download it, and then from that you can download and purchase different games.
I got it on my Steam, girl. I got it on my Steam.
So you were sending out some messages for a response.
So it's just us two having like a
sure
having a chat. Yeah, sure.
Sachin, how are you?
Hell?
All right.
What's up, Dave?
We can talk in peace now.
Can you hear me?
So
like my shadow or something. Yeah.
I'll bring her back on. There she is. She's back on. I just want you to know that we have that power.
Wow.
Oh, I see.
Wow, I dig
I see how it is.
That was an interesting.
So were you sending out more kind words than you were getting back, or were you keeping about even?
I was sending out more. It's only been 2 days. I sent out much more than I took in. But that's not to say that I was just more because once people confess their problems, I feel, this is my thought on it. Once you start reading people's real problems, and you have a pen, and they're not going to judge your advice or your thoughts on it. I got a little prolific, I started writing a little bit more than I thought I would. And this is not to say that I have less problems or less anxieties. I do not. I do not. But it was almost like their anxieties kind of displaced mine, and so I was able to focus on them, and that made me think about my stuff a lot less actually. So I think it's cool to do for 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe that might be my little habit. I don't know. And I think I answered for them. I got a little pig, a little I put on my virtual desk, and now I'm writing my character's writing with a little pig on my.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think they're going to encourage you with more little trinkets. You can arrange things in your room, I think.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and how many times have you played it so far?
3 times.
3 times.
I've written out 1 letter, and I've answered maybe 12.
Ruth is asking, I just checked, there's an app, Kind Words, for $1.99. Is that it?
Oh my gosh, that might be it. I can find it. I'll look it up. On my Steam, it costs $5.99. Maybe I just got punked.
Oh, I see. Oh, maybe there's a few different versions of it. Anne says she has a chicken on her lap right now, kids. And also says, don't forget to give us the evening highball lowdown.
What's a highball lowdown?
I think
maybe she's referring to drinks.
I think because last time you had a drink, and so yeah.
I guess we're always normally drinking. I'm actually just drinking a plain old Coke.
I am drinking nothing because I was hoping to chat with Nicole or to listen to Nicole. That's why I take my whatever drink this is. I don't know what it is.
Like
my
pudding.
Malox.
Ew, I hate the word pudding.
Nice vodka pudding.
Ew.
Pudding.
Oh.
Or like this.
Pudding.
I saw my parents today. I dropped off some food at their place.
Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't seen them in a while. I usually see them once a week. I haven't seen them in like a month, really. And we stayed outside, 6 feet apart. I dropped off a bunch of food, and it was nice to see them abiding by all these things, and it's good to see them. So I think maybe once a week I'm going to be like their Instacart guy, just throw some groceries at them, say hello, and run away back home. So yeah, that's been my that's basically been my day. Just managing different emotions, playing games, and just trying to work out the logistics of this world that we're in.
Well, what about the logistics of your love life?
You mean my love-gistics?
Yeah.
All right. No, there is no. I look, the little Guibo. Guibo? I don't know.
What?
The little character from the game. I mean, he's.
Oh, I thought you were making like a racial slur.
What? No.
Guibo.
It's a little Guibo. Wow.
He hasn't
Continue.
been back.
She has not been back. She has not been back.
That's kind of cruel.
And I haven't been back. What's that?
It's just a little cruel to reach out to you, make that connection, and then just ghost you like that.
Dave, I agree. And that's, frankly, the world that we've been living in for the last years. And, that's what, it's so easy to reach out. It takes a lot of effort to continue.
To continue.
Yeah. It's easy to drop seeds in the ground. It's hard to water it every day.
Very wise.
Dave, I feel like these things sound better if you say them, because you have that radio. You have a very calming voice.
Oh, well, thank you so much, but I thought it sounded great coming out of your mouth. Yeah.
I think if Meg said it just sounded like she was being sarcastic. Like, yeah, water your fucking plants every day. That's hard. That's my
No, I thought that sounded pretty good. All right, Sachin. Well, anything else we should know?
No, I really liked your interview with Johnny 2 days ago. I look forward to more interviews with people. I'm learning a lot about all you people. So keep it up.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it too. There's a lot of food for thought.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for filling in on such short notice, keeping the show going. I know everyone's always happy to see your face and follow your adventures.
Yeah.
Of which there are a surprising number.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Considering that you can't really leave your house. You have a lot going on.
A lot. I feel like we didn't even have time to cover it all, but I'm sure we'll be back soon enough.
Well, hey, anytime you want to talk, I'll be in this chair tomorrow.
We'll probably be chatting with you on Friday. The people need it.
All right,
guys.
Sachin, nice seeing you.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, Dave.
Yes.
So your microphone keeps hitting up against your collar, so I'm wondering if you might unbutton your shirt a couple buttons, which will also give, a little something for the chat.
Okay.
There we go, and maybe just pulling that collar wide open and putting the microphone on the inside because it's rubbing right up against
Really?
the collar.
That's
Yeah, there it is. There we
How's
go.
that?
Much better.
All right, well, let's see.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to try to add Nayon, right?
Yes, and while we're doing that, I just want to address, so Ann Hars, when we were telling the story of feeling satisfied about yelling at people, I was telling the story about feeling satisfied yelling at people who are cutting everybody off. She says, there's karma. You always end up doing something stupid. and get it back, which is very true. But I never cut people off so that I can maintain my moral high ground when I yell at people who are cutting other people off. Just wanted to clear that up.
And perfect timing, because I believe that we... Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
Nayon.
I just want
Wow, what is that drink?
to is feeling satisfied
Nayon, can
about
you turn your
this.
stream off, please, or down? So good to see you. I'd just like to point out that Nayon did not know that she was going to be on the stream today, but she still is dressed.
Camera ready.
Is dressed for the do you stay ready for the camera? Yeah, I'll just at all times in case someone wants to stream with you.
I sit in the green room all day, just waiting for the call. I just got home and took off my bra, and then I got your text.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah. That's actually a prerequisite for being on our show.
Braless
No
Nayon
bra.
Kang. It's not Nicole Smith, but it's as close as you're going to get. Nayon, is that Ninja?
Happy to be on.
Is that Ninja's ears that we're seeing?
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
I would have the other dog on my lap, but this one barks, which is why he has to be on my lap. He's a squeaky wheel. Yeah.
I see. How's it going, Nayon?
Oh, good. It's amazing how, people adapt and things settle and, people figure stuff out. So, it's very amazing to watch. Wow, people figure stuff out, So, I'm just not only living it, but kind of trying to reflect back week by week, where we were and, where we are now and how can we move forward now that we have our bearings a little bit. So in my particular predicament, I feel like there are more challenges to come, but at least there's breaks here and there to feel I could breathe for a second. So I take advantage of that whenever I can.
So for those of you that don't know Nayon, and tell me if I'm describing this accurately, but you provide essential services to lower income populations around Koreatown, Echo Park area, and
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to add to that, just to bring people up to date before I ask you a couple questions?
Sure. So we are geographically Koreatown based, where we serve people from 9 different sites, but many of our services are countywide. So I really feel that given that our target population is really the linguistically isolated, new immigrant families who are socioeconomically disadvantaged, they're all over the place, not just in Koreatown. So that is our primary population. But because mental health, just wellness in general, substance abuse prevention and intervention, all those things affect everyone. I do feel very proud that our organization serves not only Koreatown, but a lot of folks beyond.
And what's
Koreatown.
the name of that organization, just so people know if they want to check out and get more information?
Sure, it's Koreatown Youth and Community Center, also known as KYCC. And this is an organization that's been around for 45 years. It started out as an organization that was very race-based in that it tried to focus on serving Korean immigrant youth who came in the 70s, because we started in 1975, where these kids were coming to America totally ill-prepared, not able to acculturate, getting into a lot of issues because they were having such a hard time. So we started out first serving Korean youth, then we became very multifaceted, and we realized over time that none of our people live in isolation or in vacuum. We work alongside with each other. We marry each other. We go to school with each other. So we made tough, actually, decisions to change our target population to beyond just Koreans, knowing that if we serve as many people as possible, everyone will benefit. So I'm super proud of the the steps that our agency has taken. And I'm also proud to say that I actually am a product of our organization, because when I came to America in 1984 as a 7-year-old in first grade, I actually went through their entire youth programming, probably counseling too. I don't know, I was too young. But I went through all of their programs. So
Wow.
I not only am a participant from 1984, but I became a volunteer in my college days when I went through UCLA schooling. And then it really actually inspired me to be in social work and give back to the community. So not that I intended to work back at the organization that fostered my development. Because I was a therapist, I didn't know that we had a counseling department, but some random things happened where they recruited me, and I was like, oh, I know that agency. I was a kid that went through the agency. And so I happened to come back. So sometimes I'm very mystified by the fact that beyond our own planning, energies, alignment and destiny beyond our will brings us back to where we need to be. So I've been a part of the organization for, 30 something years now, seeing it from different vantage points. So I'm very, very proud. And also, I hope to continue the legacy of an organization that has done so much for the community.
Well, that's amazing. I did not realize that you spent your whole life there.
Yeah.
Last time we talked to you, this is the third time we've talked to you. Last time you were juggling a lot of things coming from all sides, from above, from below, from the side. There was a lot of confusion, a lot of conflicting directives, it sounded like, a lot of kind of situations where it was impossible to make everybody happy, and a lot of anger that you were kind of trying to avoid letting destroy you.
Yeah.
Have things changed in the weeks since then? Has it gotten more intense? Do you feel like things are starting to at least become more organized? Or are we in the same place? Where are we in relation to that?
One thing first that I wanted to say was when because I'm very vain, I actually looked at my old streams, and I realized just how pressured my speech was, because I didn't realize how much pressure I was under. So when I was talking to you guys, living through that moment, I didn't even realize how unwell and how anxious I was. So that was kind of interesting to live through that and actually reflect on that. And I think it's kind of cool that you're in a way documenting different people from different walks of life adapting. Now I feel like emotionally and physically I'm a little more okay. Like my digestion is better, like my skin is better, I'm able to sleep a little bit better. So I'm better mentally and physically and emotionally to make better decisions. But at that time, it was just too much going on all at once, so fast, so alarming. And it's just a really scary place to be in. But I always knew that we can make incremental decisions and absorb incremental information, but over time there will be more and more of that, so we could fine-tune our process and make better decisions. I call it like the shock to the system, in that no one was prepared for this. So however well we are as an individual or as an organization or as a family, that was a test. And now with some, time passing and just more resources coming and communication getting better, I think we're able to, at least from the nonprofit sector, make better decisions. So at that time, I was trying to figure out how to allow people to make best decisions for themselves personally and for their family. But as somebody who's part of running the business of it, I was just really trying to keep people employed. So I was so just very driven by business decisions. But now with emergency business loans coming, individual relief efforts coming, I do feel like whatever happens as as an organization with 130 plus employees, wherever people land, they're going to be kind of okay. So I feel like less scared, knowing that at least our organization, we can do something, and then now we could focus our energy on helping other people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You have at least enough stability now that you can start to direct more of your attention outward. Is that mostly kind of a matter of figuring out the right strategy, or were there reinforcements that needed to arrive either in the form of people or supplies, or was it more just about getting organized correctly?
All of that simultaneously. Like, for example, right now we have certain loans coming that is not guaranteed, and we don't know when banks are able to support small businesses and nonprofits with certain number of employees, etc. So we have to make tentative decisions based on, are we even going to get that loan? Will that be forgiven? When are we even going to get it? How much payroll can we sustain? Who wants to work? Who doesn't want to work? How can we modify certain people's work? I think just like any system, figuring out how do you take care of 130 plus people so you can focus on other things, that takes so much time because has a lot to do with individual circumstances, individual, I don't know how much vacation and sick time you have left, what kind of work. So
the 130 people are like just the employees of KYCC?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
It's a micro system that you have to like stabilize so you can even focus on other things, right? Which is like the community. But without the workforce, you can't do anything. So how do you make, group, how do you facilitate group communication, but individual communication so that people can make best decisions for themselves, understand what's coming ahead in terms of possible furloughs, layoffs, all that stuff, so that we know what workforce we're dealing with, how much more people we need to hire, all the like boring business stuff that I think from the front lines, which I completely understand because I was there, it's hard to understand, like, why do decisions take so long, and how come supplies aren't coming fast enough? How come you didn't change policies fast enough? Like, everything is so tied together and happening simultaneously that it takes, like we said before, so much patience and just putting in the time so that we're moving people along together, so that people don't feel like they're told what's going to happen, but they're somehow part of this journey together. And that's part of the expensive labor and time you have to invest, so that as a group of people, we are, there's that mutual trust, right? And then just understanding that we're doing the best we can. Not everything's perfect, and we're gonna make mistakes along the way, but there is goodwill on everyone's end to make it through as best as possible. So I just witness this happening everywhere, not only in partner organizations, but other industries where people are trying to make sense of it, seeing how they fit in together, and how do we make sure that certain things are moving along so that, once again, reminding ourselves of the priority, which is that people who are already struggling are not falling through the cracks further. So I have to remind myself of that, because it was already a very difficult world to live in before this. So how do we do the best we can, if not do a better job?
I'm speechless. I feel like I just gotta sit in that for a second. We do have some questions from the chat, which is a little bit of a change of pace, but everybody wants to know if Ninja's drinking the tequila.
That would help a lot because he's such a spaz.
And he's a tequila.
But I don't know how to tango. I'm gonna he's my tango partner. I'm going to teach him the 6 step. I tried already. So yeah, he's doing okay.
What are your guilty pleasures right now, Nayon? What do you do to turn it off and relax?
You know, as I said, tequila helps, but if you know me, you know I love to cook. I'm really about people living their best lives, particularly women. So I was gonna do this whole series of posts about cooking with your children, because I have a lot of friends who, you know, in my age group, they're usually mothers. I don't have children, but they have kids, and they're figuring out, like, they're pulling their hair out, figuring like, how do I teach my kids and how do I have quality time together? So I was going to do this whole like easy cooking, like with your children series of posts. And then I realized, like, there's no ingredients in the supermarket because all the shelves are empty. So I was like, okay, I should probably not do that. But I do love cooking, and something that's a solitary activity, because I am an introvert. So a lot of my hobbies, actually, whether it's jewelry making, you know, singing, cooking, they're primarily solo hobbies. So I try to go back to that to restore my sense of balance. But I haven't had as much time as I thought I would have around this time. So I'm doing it when I can, usually on the weekends, which is when I post like a maniac.
I see.
Oh, and photography. Oh, that's the one thing. Oh my gosh, I love photography more than anything else. So no matter what the hobby, I love photographing things. So thankfully, I had the opportunity to document a lot of the Oxygen's activities. So that's a void that I didn't realize I would fill, because it was such a, you know, daily process. So I miss that a lot, and I want to get back on that.
Yeah, anyone familiar with the Oxygen Instagram page should know that, yeah, if there's a picture on there that you like, there's a good chance that Nayon took it.
Nayon, how are your dreams? You had a real whopper the last time. I'm wondering how they are lately.
Okay, so this is not as exciting as the last one, but I keep dreaming of the same parking lot where I'm lost. It's a parking lot I've never seen before, but it's tied to a familiar environment, whether it's like my old school or, I don't know, my job or something, but there's an attached multi-floor parking lot that I know I've never seen in real life, but I'm constantly circling around, or I'm on different doors. But this parking lot is like the recurring part of it. So once again, this parking lot is a representation of myself.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what the doors represent?
Right.
Well, what?
Also, I don't know. Yeah. But usually it's leading, when you exit the parking lot, whatever floor you're on, it's an environment I'm familiar with, like an old school, or like a mall I'm used to, or work environment. But it's the parking lot that I've never seen before, but it's familiar because I've seen it in a previous stream. So maybe it's like some layer of psyche. There's no exciting lover like the last one.
Aw, man.
Yeah.
All right. What about, are you reading anything good? Watching anything good? I'm getting to the bottom of all my lists.
Oh, yeah. So I have posted about this before and talked to my friends about it. But, you know, when I put on my makeup in the morning, which takes like a good 20 to 30 minutes, I'm always doing something. So my ritual is that I follow this one guy named Chris Voss, who's a hostage negotiator. He was a top negotiator for the FBI for international hostage situations, but he took a lot of the empathy training and negotiation training from hostage situations to business settings, but also just real life interaction. So I want to be influential and, to have good relationships with people, collaborate well with people. So actually, he's in the masterclass series that you could pay for, but he's free on YouTube. I watch different interviews of him. So I watched like 20 to 30 minutes of his, TEDx talk or whatever he has free on YouTube. I've been watching for the last 2 to 3 weeks. So I apply that in my work right now in terms of how do I, it's actually some of the stuff I talked about before. How do I navigate different discussions and urgency of situations in a way that preserves humanity, dignity in the people with the people I work with, but also in myself. And no matter the outcome, how do I make sure that the relationship is still intact so that people want to continue to work with each other? So I've actually applied this directly in some serious situations at work. So I watch that every morning because I don't really watch like Netflix or like Korean dramas and things like that. So I do that, and then once I get on the road, I just listen to the Oxygen Spotify that Megan created. So yeah, so I listen to that myself before I get into work. So I listen to it every day, actually. Yeah, and pretend I'm leading some. Yeah.
It's still. I mean, these tactics seem to be working. You've certainly taken us hostage.
Oh.
You see what I did there? You see what I did there? And yeah.
Nice arc.
Again, I can't thank you enough, Nayon, for coming on last minute. We were planning a check-in with you sooner or later. So yeah, thanks for jumping on the line with literally 20 minutes notice. So.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad I didn't wash my face off with all my makeup.
I think the next time we have you on, I believe the last time we had you on, there was a request for makeup tips. So I'm just going to make a little note and make sure we get to that next time.
Oh, I have so much. I have so many tips.
I bet you do. All right. Nice. Well, have a good night. Keeping us posted on what we can be doing to support you and your work at KYCC. And thanks again for what you are doing.
Thank you, everyone. I miss you all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.